Hey, what's up guys? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In this review, we're talking about Mary Queen of Scots, starring two powerhouse talents, Saoirse Ronan and Margot Robbie. I'm going to tell you where I think this movie thrives. I'm going to let you know where I think it fell short and overall why I enjoyed it. So, let's get into it. In this story, a widowed Queen Mary returns to Scotland to claim her rightful throne as Queen. England's Queen Elizabeth also rules Scotland at the time, and this move naturally creates both fascination and concern about the other in each of them. Mary is younger and more liberal in her thinking. Elizabeth is much more wiser and a traditional queen. These estranged sisters really are captivated by one another for different reasons, but while their distant power struggle evolves, each queen's court sees the opportunity to try and move forward with their own governing agendas. Or something like that. No, I won't try to claim any different. Time period films don't always jump out at me. I do enjoy them from time to time, but it's a rare case when one really grabs my attention. But when you have names like Saoirse Ronan and Margot Robbie, you're gonna have my attention as well. I love both of these actresses. I find their range to be quite impressive, and with this being a very emotionally driven plotline, I was excited to not only see both of their individual performances, but to see their on-screen chemistry as well. Overall, I would definitely say the film was successful in grabbing onto and holding my attention. I enjoyed the performances. I thought sections of the story were very well done, and visually it was immaculate. I mean, from start to finish, this was simply a beautiful movie to watch. The production design was just intricately detailed. The wardrobes, the set designs, all the locations and the settings were just fantastic, and I thought the way director Josie Rourke moved the camera around throughout had a nice smooth flow to it that really pulled me into the world of the story. I think Saoirse Ronan was fantastic as Queen Mary. I definitely think she elevated the material with the subtle intensity of her performance. I definitely think she commanded the screen with each of her scenes, really with just the way she carried the role through her expressions and the emotion and the intensity that she carried in her eyes alone. Queen Mary was young, and I found the routine turns from innocence to commanding that Ronan captured to be very intriguing. And it was also able to create some compelling moments of unpredictability for a guy like me that is definitely no history buff, but at the same time, that could have been considered a downfall to me for an extent. You wouldn't want to study off my notes, but I do know some parts of the historical events, and I also am well aware that this was called Mary Queen of Scots, focusing on her story, but at the same time, I think more development of Queen Mary would have gone a long way in just pulling more impact from Margot Robbie's performance. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Robbie in this role, but other than getting some of the small nuances of the Queen that were needed to drive Mary's side of the story forward, I don't feel like I got to know her so much, so the dramatic impact from Robbie was just kind of lessened a bit. I definitely wouldn't say that the dialogue she had to work with was superficial by any means at all, but the substance that I think was there felt extremely guided, and I don't think it always connected together to me to really feel the whats and the whys of her thoughts. I mean, I definitely think Robbie brought her full effort to the role, but with a lack of heart and depth to the writing, it just didn't resonate with me like I think it easily could have. Despite a couple short lulls, the progression of the storyline was continual, but like I said, just a lack of depth in the Queen Elizabeth camp hindered me slightly from being able to be fully invested in this movie. I think what story it does provide was absolutely fantastic. I think the layers of religious and political conflict that overlapped these two queens having a power struggle was peeled back nicely to keep me intrigued. It was also very interesting to see all the different dynamics between these countries explored, and how faith and policy and religion and sexism all really intermingled with each other during the time period. However, I think all of this possibly could have been too much of the focus of the narrative at times. I just wanted more of Robbie and Ronan in their roles. I wanted to see them do a deep dive into these characters to explore the emotional layers to them, but the writing overall just failed to properly utilize the talents of the cast. I think the potential for emotional intrigue was endless, and it truly could have been a 1-2 punch from Robbie and Ronan instead of just showing flashes of that. So in the end, despite enjoying the film for what it was, I just don't think the dramatic weight of the subject matter was captured enough to feel lasting to me, and overall I'm gonna have to give Mary Queen of Scots 80% on the entertainment meter. It's without question a beautiful cinematic experience, and when placed with other skillfully crafted time period dramas, it certainly holds its own, but with a procedural progression to the storyline at times and not really diving into the layers of the characters, it's not gonna stand above the rest either, when I definitely think it had the potential to do so. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. I would love to hear from you all. Here are some links to some recent reviews just in case you missed them. The link to my official website, all my social media and merchandise store links are going to be down in the description below. And in the event, me talking to you guys about movies every couple days is not enough Anthony in your life, I now have a second YouTube channel with a growing collection of non-movie related content for you guys to check out, and I'll see you guys next time.